fintech, and now we figured that why stick to the trends and talk about artificial intelligence like everyone else does, because this is December, guys, and the threats are lurking everywhere. And these cybersecurity guys, who I'm thanking for their time, because I know December is quite heavy for them. We talked about earlier before we hit the recording button that this is a period when they have many things to do. So yeah, this is the first cybersecurity meetup by Hipther. We will be back in March with the next one, and I have the pleasure of having some of the great leading minds that I've met over the years at our conferences. Oh, you can see everybody has their names. So we have Martin Stöffler, co-founder and head of compliance services at OSM Solutions. Martin was a guest on our Hipter talks earlier in 2025, so you may want to check that out as well. Asif Afkram, co-founder of TriStratus. Hi, Asif. Nice to have
Hi,
you
guys.
here. Asif is a regular speaker at our conference in Prague. Martin is joining our conferences again after 6 years of pause. And last but not least, we also have Anish Tatani, regional account executive at No by 4, which is
No
a very
before.
interesting. No before. All right, no before. It's an interesting company name, but you can tell us all about it in your intro. So, guys, we keep the tradition we have started on our podcast that we like to give the opportunity for the guest to share a few words about themselves in their own words. So, Martin, could you tell the audience a bit about yourself?
Of course. Hello again. Hello, Sultan. Thank you very much for the invitation. My name is Martin Stöffler. I'm co-founder of OSM Solutions. We are a boutique security company located in Vienna and servicing mainly the DACH region, but also obviously worldwide. We have been, all three of the co-founders have been in security for almost 25 years. So we know a little bit of what we are talking about. We all three met at, I'm not sure I should mention it, but a gaming company 20 years ago, basically. We provide ISMS consultancy. We provide audit preparation. We do a lot of pen testing if you need that. We do also a bit of forensic if needed. We do CM consulting. We do all sorts of stuff. We are mostly technology focused, but also a strong compliance focus with me as the head. And I'm excited to talk about security.
Good to have you here. Asif.
Hi, well, Zoltan, thanks very much for the introduction. I'm Asif. I'm one of the co-founders at TriStratus. We're a managed services IT company, and we focus on cloud services, so digital transformation and providing digital services, along with cybersecurity, which is cybersecurity and compliance is one of our core focus areas as well. So in a nutshell, that's us. We're primarily based in Malta, but we work in the European markets, Greece, Cyprus, Malta, UK, Czech Republic, and so on. So that's me in a nutshell. Thanks.
Thank you. Anish from No Before.
No before.
Yeah.
Exactly. Think of it like no before you get hacked.
Yeah. Figured that now.
Hey, thanks for having me, Zoltan. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be sitting and speaking amongst all of you guys. So truly appreciate that. I'm from Know Before. We used to be a security awareness training and phishing company, but we've kind of switched our vertical. We're now a human risk management company. So we cover the full ecosystem of human risk management. I'm an account executive. I help organizations with these decisions and kind of, let's say I provide them with a strategic consultancy on how they can utilize a platform like ours and mitigate risk. I've mainly been working on the Eastern European and the Mediterranean region. So I work with like countries like Poland, Czech Republic, Romania, and I also work with countries like Malta. I work side by side with Asif on a few projects. Happy to be here. Let's get this going.
All right. So those who are watching this recording, make sure to connect with these guys on LinkedIn because they do have many great things that they are sharing. So and also if you need some help, they are the right person to do it. So let's open this session with a question for everyone. And I guess that by now you already know the way we're going. So it's Martin, Asif, and Anish replying to the questions. So guys, December is a time when many companies slow down or go on break, which is very ironic. But that's when attackers speed up, right? So why is this time of the year particularly risky from a cybersecurity standpoint, Martin?
Well, like I said, it's the holiday season, obviously. So everybody wants, and some people actually get the holidays, right? And for depending a bit on the industry, I would say it's a very busy season. If you think e-commerce, also gaming, obviously gambling, very busy season. And of course, it's the higher the traffic, the higher amount of traffic, the easier it is to sneak something in, the easier it is to conceal something. And if your controls, technically as well as organizational ones, are not on point or are a bit fussy or whatever, it's going to be very or a lot easier to sneak something in during high traffic times. Also, obviously, during year end, when security is a bit busy, you can. Okay, sorry. Can we do that again?
No problem. Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. I had made some little notes, but maybe too little. Okay.
Yeah, ready to go anytime.
Okay. Since it's holiday season, as you mentioned, it's a high volume season for a lot of businesses and a lot of enterprises, especially in the gaming, gambling, but also e-commerce, for example. And in these times when there's a lot of traffic and there's a lot of going on in your platform and there's a lot happening, it's much easier to sneak in stuff, right? Because there's going to be a lot of alarms in your CM system. There's a lot of business going on in your SOC environment, and if people are busy, they are prone to overlook something. So if you don't have both very solid technical as well as organizational controls, it's easy to slip something by, or easier, I would say. And I think that's the main reason actually. And of course, the staffing is always a problem, because people obviously want and should take holidays. And if you organize or if you operate your security on a shoestring budget, if you have two people and one goes on holiday, it's going to be tight, right? Especially if you have to have 24/7 SOC operations or whatever.
Yeah. Right. That's good to know. Asif, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, following on from Martin, I wouldn't say that December is a particularly a higher risky month for cybersecurity. We're seeing attacks and phishing attacks and malware attacks on a daily basis. So it's no longer just towards the end of the year. However, towards the end of the year, what we find is that obviously staff are in a bit more of a wind down, chill out mode. It's the Christmas season. They're starting to get a bit more relaxed. They're also, they're doing a lot of e-commerce. They're actually shopping online themselves. They're waiting for their parcels to be delivered, their gifts to be delivered, and so on. So they're also checking for DHL emails and multi-post emails or your local postal service. So these are opportune times for hackers to actually, take advantage of. And people are waiting for parcels to be delivered, so they're going to take advantage and throwing a phishing attack. And the one that's not, let's say, wary or knowledgeable about these phishing attacks might get compromised as well. So that's something. We're seeing that also during this period that there's fewer staff as well, that people are going on leave and on holidays. Response times are getting slower, and people are obviously more distracted. So there's a huge amount of phishing spikes. We do see them a lot. And also that the operations and patching, things get delayed, alerts get missed, and it's an ideal time for hackers to exploit. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this a lot, Asif, in terms like what you said about these shipments and everything. That all throughout the year you get this sort of emails, maybe once per month that the package is waiting for you. But during this period, it's crazy, and it's like really easy when you're like, maybe you're at a company that you at Christmas party and you get an email that you have a package waiting. Oh, of course, let's click that confirm button and goodbye. So, Anish, what's your take on this?
Hey, yes, so just before we jump into that, I'm getting this "you aren't being recorded" message, so I don't know if it's working or not. I
It's
don't know if I
working.
should.
It's working.
It's working? Okay.
Yeah.
So I have this thing in front of my screen, but I'm just gonna ignore it then, okay? But yeah, to jump into what Martin and Asif said, I mean, just to tag into that same messaging, it is a very high traffic time. Completely agree with you guys, and yeah, definitely there's lots of people that are taking, like, they're dealing with lots of packages, they're sending gift cards, there's lots of things going on, and the staff on the other side, let's say the security teams, are also going on holiday, so your response to security incidences and handling those security threats and everything is kind of not as efficient, or not at the level that it should be during the season, in my opinion. You do see lots of threats, like fake shipping scams coming into your mailbox. You do see like these e-gift cards. You get these holiday party invitations, and you think that you're really getting invited to a holiday party. You also sometimes get these bonus messages
Yeah.
from your management or from your team, and you kind of have this impression that, oh, I'm getting a bonus, end of the year bonus. And since it's such a high traffic time, as a victim, as a user, consumer, you are more likely to go ahead and click into one of these, just because you're kind of expecting some of this stuff to happen. So attackers do take on, they do take this as, let's say, a good time to target organizations and to get through. And yeah, this is just it's definitely a troubling time. I would say it's important for people to be on their toes in this season, and to not be a victim of scams or attackers.
All right. It's probably they have a sign. Hunting season is open in December.
100%.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Probably that Nigerian prince has stopped sending emails because
The Nigerian prince thing is kind of dead now. I feel like the market is now, we're much more aware of the potential threats, and yeah, no longer are we as naive to think that a Nigerian prince is going to send us 10,000 or 20,000 euros and wants to get married to us anymore. But there are still elements of social engineering that attackers are going to target us on. And as the threats evolve, we should too. So 100% agree with you that it's
hopefully
it's not like what it used to be, but it's more advanced than the Nigerian prince scam. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a good example for sure.
So hopefully the guy who has worked at Amazon and later at Cloudflare and they crashed the whole internet is going to be on his holiday as well this December. So let's look back at 2025, guys. So what were the cybersecurity trends or threads that have stood out the most to you personally, and how should companies use these lessons to prepare for 2026? Let's mix it up a bit. Asif.
So we found a large number of AI-driven phishing attacks. There's also identity-based attacks that we saw more and more. People are imitating, CEOs, CFOs, trying to, they compromise their identities, and we're also seeing that supply chain compromises stood out as well. So the lessons for 2026, I would say that to prioritize identity security, continuously monitor and assume breaches will happen. It's not a question of if and when. It's a good question of when they will happen. And then they need to design for rapid detection and recovery, so to recover as quickly as possible.
All right, Martin.
Completely agree with Asif. Of course, deepfake, even deepfake as a service is taking off. Yeah? People are actually earning money with that, and it works, obviously. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. Also, what we also see is absolutely the supply chain attacks. Yeah, so third and even fourth party attacks are on the rise, and I'm 100% certain will continue to rise, especially in Europe, given with Germany now trying to lower the level of supply chain management and going a bit back on the new rules and on the new regulations, right? What we see on a technical level is a lot of EDR killer malware that is being used to be super complicated, to write malware that actually targets kernel level calls or ring zero calls is not something that's very trivial, but with new AI and with the AI advances that we are doing, that are happening right now, it's getting better and better, obviously. So yeah, I think there is a lot of automation generally going on. A lot of people that probably 5 years ago, with the level of knowledge that they have, they couldn't really attack you. They would have liked to, but now they have the tools, and yeah, it's getting worse, right? In my mind. Yeah. Of course, the good thing is that also the protector side is ramping up, with a lot of automation. What we see a lot with AI is that we have fewer false positives, for example, and false negatives also, but also false positives is one of the big things that actually drive work and unnecessary overhead in the organizations, right? So yeah, I think both sides are ramping up, basically.
All right, Anish.
Yeah, I mean, to add to Martin's point about AI, I would say that because of AI, there's the good and the bad, right? There's the side where, yeah, we're becoming more efficient. We're able to respond to things faster. We're able to provide more detail. We're able to get a more kind of holistic view on everything, and more detailed information. But there's also the side of misinformation and not getting the right information, because right now AI is not at the level where you can trust it to give you everything super accurately. You are going to see that organizations are moving into this agentic model where I work in sales, for example, and let's say, for example, you have Salesforce, which you use to communicate with your customers and your teams and forecast and all that good stuff. But that's also connected to other applications like Google, Microsoft for email exchanges and stuff. Now, in the future, what you're going to see is that a lot of these organizations or companies, users like myself, a lot of those tasks will be kind of done for us. You'll come into work and emails will already be reported for you. I mean, they'll already be the replies will be ready. It'll just be a matter of clicking a button and sending that out. So I do see a certain let's say threats related to that. And I believe organizations do need to also kind of build a guardrail, or what I like to call a guard dog, for these AIs, so that they are able to kind of handle those threats in the right way. And KnowBe4 is working on that. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit at a later stage. But yeah, I definitely see that potentially being a threat. And I think that yeah, also don't put in too much information into AI just yet. Let's wait for the guardrails to go up, and once we're sure about what we're handling and how we're tackling it, and that it's safe for us to actually utilize it the right way, then let's press forward with it. But yeah, AI has its positive and its benefits. Also, attackers. Let's talk about attackers. Cyber criminals also have access to AI right now, right? And these guys, let's say previously they would be able to punch out a message in English and or in Slovenian or Slovakian or whatever, and they'd make a wording mistake. But now with AI, it's like they're native Slovenian or Slovakian speakers. So getting those emails through and making it seem real is much easier for them. So yeah, I mean, from the attacker perspective, AI is making life a lot easier for them too. So we got to watch out for both ends of the spectrum, from a protection as well as a user perspective. We got to watch out for both.
All right. So you guys mentioned, I mean, all of you mentioned that one of the risks is the reduced staff. during holidays. So how should businesses balance these holiday operations with the ongoing security vigilance, especially with remote teams or reduced staff, as you guys mentioned? Martin.
How should they balance that? I mean, generally speaking, I would say what we see already in the market, and everybody should really do that, is going from reactive to proactive security, right? Because reactive is, as the name implies, it's reactive and it's after the fact, yeah. And so I would say automation is here and it's here to stay. So why not lean on it? You know, do it proper, do it. Don't rush it. Do it in a controlled way. Sit down first. Decide which of your risks are actually able to be somehow automated or handled by AI, or which parts of your risks, and then make a proper plan. Sit together, ideally with all the stakeholders, and get a real plan going. Not just throwing AI on some problem and hoping that it's done. You know. Sorry, my phone. Yeah, then of course, end of the year is for security, just like for development, for example. I'm a big proponent of change freeze, like in code freeze with development. Don't do anything big, don't do anything risky during this time. It just doesn't make sense. There will be times when there's more time and there's less stuff to do, right? I think it's for different businesses and different enterprises have different times when they are busy, and you should know that when you go into business and plan accordingly, right?
All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on Martin's statement. Automation is key here. So my recommendation is to automate where possible, because there is reduced staff. So people will be on leave. They'll also be in the mental frame where they're shutting down for the end of the year, getting ready to be with their family and friends. So there's a different mental attitude as well. So automate where possible. Clearly define on-call responsibilities, and double down on identity controls like MFA. The reduced staff means security processes. So from a compliance and process perspective, it must be more simpler, clearer, and always on as well.
All right. Thank you so much. Anish.
Yeah, I mean, completely agree with Martin, completely agree with Asif. You do want to take care of your automation, and you definitely want to have that proactive approach rather than that reactive approach. Maybe one thing that I just want to say on top of this is that the reduced staff thing, I mean, yes, it's the Christmas season and we see that in the Christmas season, but I feel like we kind of see that also in other seasons in the year, like the summer. You're also going to see something similar, especially in Europe. People go off in the summer. It's the best time of the year for them too. They're always trying to take a vacation. They're always trying to get out. And from a security perspective, I believe that you should build your security culture from the beginning. It should happen. Like, take the proactive approach, not the reactive approach. You should be building a security culture out. Once you start your operations, once you get going, you should already build a security culture. So when the seasons do hit, and when you guys do have these kind of attacks increasing, and you see that these attacks are increasing, you're already prepared for it, and you're ready to kind of tackle anything that comes about. And that also falls hand in hand with the automation side, right? Like, if you have a automated tech stack that will handle your security incidences, if a user is, for example, reporting a security incident to you, then you're going to be able to handle that no matter if you have the staff that's there, or if they're not there, because you have the automation in line for it.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead, Martin.
Just one last thing, since you said to your question, I believe for the listeners now, don't do something right now. Just keep it as it is at the moment. Because if you start rolling out multi-factor authentication or whatever right now, that's gonna be a problem. Prepare for next year then. Or for next
exactly.
Year, whatever.
All right, so Martin, I have 4 questions for you. Let's kick off with this one. So, given your extensive experience with compliance in regulated markets, uh, what are some of the key compliance tests that businesses should prioritize before the year ends?
Should priorities before the year end. I do believe that when you have done your preparation, you should anyway be ready for the season. So what I always liked when I was not in consulting but CISO and head of security positions is that if you have done everything right, then it could or it can actually also be a quite silent season for security, or you have some time, and that could be a golden opportunity to clean up, to clean a bit house, to go through your policies, your standards, your procedures, your processes, whatever, and clean them up. See if, for example, I see all the time that people have a really good ISMS. They have I don't know how many policies and processes, whatever, and then there are certain things that are stated in a different wording in 3 different areas, for example. That's a golden opportunity if you have time to clean up your ISMS. Have it in one area so that when you need to update it, you need to update it in one place and not in 5 different places. And that goes through all the areas. You can, for example, it's a very good opportunity to go through your access management and clean that out. Have a look. Do people really need all the access roles that they have? And ideally, then during this exercise, you also document why they have this controls, for example. Yeah. Or you can have a look at your supply chain, for example. Are all the ISO certifications or whatever you require for your supply chain, are they still valid? Do you maybe need a new questionnaire or whatever? It's a great time to clean house, in my mind.
All right.
So I wouldn't do something right now if I hadn't planned for it. Then I would just do business as usual, because stuff can get really, really hectic if things escalate. And hopefully you've done your resilience preparation, because then you're going to be golden. If not, then yeah.
All right. So you worked closely on audit preparedness, right? So what common pitfalls do companies face during year-end security audits, and maybe you can say a few words about how they can avoid them?
Sure. First of all, I don't really understand why people, and trust me, a lot of companies do that. Yeah, so really a lot. Why you need to do a year-end audit when it comes to security? Nobody is forcing you. You can do it anytime. Yeah. Of course, there are more opportune times and there are less opportune times. But security-wise, I would say December is the worst. Yeah. Or maybe not the worst, but it's not a great time. Yeah. So maybe find a better time, ideally. And then, of course, it's always the same with companies that are underprepared for audits. Yeah, they have, for example, controls on paper, but not in practice. Auditors hate that one, because then you're basically lying almost. Yeah, because you say you do something and then there is no evidence for that. What a lot of companies also do is last-minute remediations. They know audit is coming. Haven't really prepared, so we sit down with the DevOps team and try to coach them into what they should say and what shouldn't say, those kinds of things. And then you really are just lying to yourself, because in my mind, audit, you should be so prepared that an audit is just a validation of your controls, not the exploration exercise, So you should prepare, what we see very often is that there is, for example, no RASCII matrix style thing in place. So people actually very often don't know that they are in charge or are information provider or whatever to certain controls. They might have heard it during training 7 months ago, but never really digested it and don't feel responsible for it. What else do we have? what you always can do is for audits, you can prepare, you can have a look and anticipate what the auditor wants from evidence, and then have a look. Okay, can I provide this evidence in a timely manner? Can I provide it in a concise manner, or will I sit during the audit and be searching? You know, and that's always a bad look. You know, if you don't know where to find something, you know, and Anish will probably for sure be on my side here, that properly trained employees, they will know where the policies that are relevant to them, yeah, are found, or where the controls relevant to them are found in which policy, and ideally they even know roughly what's in there, you know, and that will actually really surprise a lot of auditors, because it's not very often that we see that. So
all right. Yeah, so let's also talk about the automation of compliance, because Complify aims to automate compliance. So how do you see automation shaping the future of compliance in fast-paced industries like the gaming industry, especially during these high-risk periods like the holidays, or maybe even summer, like you said?
Yeah. So the thing is, when I started in security, I was in technical security, I was pen testing, and only then went into compliance. And what I saw, first thing there was that there was always this attitude that audit or compliance is just to pass the audit. You know, we have to get this license, we have to get this certification, whatever. So it's really what we call a point in time thing, right? So on the 15th of August, we look at that, and then we are compliant. And that's, while it's good for a certification, yeah, it's really not good for security, for the security life cycle. So continuous assurance, continuous security is what we're aiming for. And I do really, really believe that automation is a great tool for that. You know, what else do we have? Of course, the going away, so going to automation also helps to reduce the reliance on human things, and humans are prone to error, as we know. It's not that that technology doesn't make errors, but of course it's much more consistent than humans, and that's why I also believe that awareness and awareness training, and especially focused awareness training on to actually feed the people the exact information that they need. Yeah, because for example, somebody in, I don't know, in customer support doesn't need to read 38 policies. You know, it's of no use. Yeah, so give them the tools that they need, the controls that they need, and enable them to do actually really good work. Yeah, I think with the automation, we will be able to look into more stuff quicker with less effort, and I think that's going to be great.
All right. So you also seen how security aligns or maybe clashes with business goals. So what's your advice for leadership teams planning for 2026 security roadmaps that also meet some compliance demands?
I would say that very much depends on what kind of company. Are you a startup? Are you an established company? Do you have a lot of manual processes, or are you actually really technology-wise very advanced? Yeah. But what I would do is I would simply, and by this time we have the 17th of December, I hope that the risk team has already looked through their enterprise risks for 2026, right? So I would sit down, management, security, compliance, risk, and I would then try to align my security and operational risks with the business risks for 2026, yeah? And then ideally map my controls, my existing controls to that, and from there you can then build outward. You know, from there you can then really go and assign responsibilities, define mitigations, define residual risks, then you have a good start, right? In my mind. You can. There are easy wins in the way that you can prioritize certain risks, right? Ideally, depending on when your next audit is, when the next audit is, you would first of all look as early as possible in the compliance risks. In my mind, simply to have so that we can mitigate those, then we can have the new processes or the altered processes or procedures, have them run a few months, because you will, if you start altering really established processes and procedures, you will run into issues, right? Maybe not with each one of them, but with some of them. And if we do it in a timely manner, then we can adopt and we can rechange this and have much easier time during the audit.
All right, thank you, Martin. Okay, let's also move on to Asif then, who has a background in both infrastructure and AI. So Asif, how do you see AI helping companies to stay secure during the holiday season when the human oversight might be lower, as you guys all mentioned?
I mean, Zoltan, that's a good question. I mean, the holiday season is a perfect time for attackers. The hackers are smarter. They're using AI as well. And they also know that human attention is lower during this particular season as well. Fewer people are watching dashboards, the teams are stretched thin, response times are slow, and this is where AI can help make the difference. So AI can provide continuous monitoring, so it doesn't take a holiday. I don't know if you remember Terminator 2, where Sarah Connor is watching the Terminator, and she's saying that he's ultimately the perfect father figure for him because he doesn't take a holiday, he doesn't get angry, he doesn't shout and scream at them, and so on. AI systems can watch your networks, their users, systems 24/7. They don't need a break, they don't need holidays, and they can immediately flag anything that's unusual, especially when the security teams are understaffed. AI also helps spot abnormal behavior as well. It can translate massive amounts of data. So during the holiday season, strange activities like logins at odd hours and access from unexpected locations, these can all be easy to miss. So AI can learn what's normal behavior, and it can identify when something doesn't fit right. It also enables faster and automated response. So we spoke about automation as well. So it can isolate systems, block suspicious activity, and also limit damage automatically. And that also helps to buy valuable time for humans to actually start to intervene and take to help remediate. And finally, AI proactively helps organizations prepare in advance as well. So even before the holiday season begins, AI can highlight any vulnerabilities, any unpatched systems, and any infrastructure risks to help the company to become more secure moving forward.
All right, so it makes sense, and I'm just hoping that there's not going to be some AI union starting to give rights that they work too hard and you need to maybe we will get to that. We don't know yet.
But wasn't there this viral video where they had a roboter and that was doing the packaging, giving out and taking in job of a human, and after a 12-hour shift or so, it just toppled over and didn't move anymore.
Hey, that's the future. Yeah. Why not give them these rights as well? So Asif, let's stick to AI, because I'm also interested in what are the key AI-driven solution companies should be considering as part of the 2026 cybersecurity strategy. Let's call it that.
I mean, when we're talking about cybersecurity strategies, we've mentioned it before, but the shift is from reactive security to predictive and autonomous security. And AI is at the center of that. So companies should be investing in AI threat detection and response tools, any EDR tools as well. This goes beyond signature-based tools. AI tools can detect unknown threats by analyzing behavior across the networks, endpoints, cloud environments, and also help to respond in real time as well. Identity and access management is critical. So with hybrid work and more machine identities, what I mean is that now when as a user, we don't have just one PC. We have a PC, we have an iPad, we have a phone. We've got multiple devices that we're using to access our network. And AI can help detect any compromised credentials, any risky access behavior, and enforce zero trust policies dynamically as well. It can also automate security operations, and also organizations should look into AI-enhanced SOCs, where AI can help triage alerts, reduce false positives, and also automate routine responses, which also ultimately frees humans to focus on more high-impact incidents and the strategy around it as well. Predictive risk and vulnerability management is also going to be very, very essential. Here, AI can prioritize vulnerabilities based on exploit likelihood and business impact. And it also helps to avoid overwhelming teams with long, unranked patch lists as well. Companies do need AI-driven cloud and infrastructure security. As environments become more complex, AI can help monitor misconfigurations, lateral movements, abnormal workloads, and across multiple cloud environments and hybrid infrastructure as well. So finally, I mean, on this, organizations should be prepared for AI-enabled attacks. We've mentioned it before as well, that the hackers are using AI, and they're probably using it much better than we're using it to protect our organizations as well. That means they're using AI to defend against deepfakes, automated phishing, adaptive malware, and like I said, the hackers are already using these tools at scale as well. So yeah.
All right, so you are also covering the iGaming industry, and I'm interested about like iGaming or similar high demand sectors. What specific infrastructure security challenges arise at the end of the year, and how can managed services help address them?
Yeah, I mean, in iGaming and other high digital industries, the end of the year is like the perfect storm, let's put it that way. Not just the end of the year, but for example, like in the summer periods where there's a lot of sports activities, there's the Olympics, there's cricket, Wimbledon, there's a lot of betting and stuff going along. People are on leave, so people do have more time to bet as well. So these do create infrastructure security challenges. There's huge traffic spikes during these times as well. There's also a lot of promotional campaigns, major events, and these are all happening at one time. And also, the engineering and security teams are operating with reduced staff. So one of the major challenges is the sudden scaling and performance pressure that they need to adhere to. Systems are pushed to their limits during this time. They're constantly under stress. So anything like misconfigurations or vulnerabilities can be overlooked, and these can easily become security issues or outages very quickly. Another challenge is an increase in volume, attack volume, sorry. So like DDoS attacks, account takeovers, fraud attempts, and even bot activities. These are really peak at this particular time. And that hackers know that the business impact is much higher now, and that the response time from the company will be much slower in this period as well. There's also, with iGaming, there's the really a big issue of complex and distributed infrastructure. So iGaming platforms, they rely on real-time data. They've got massive global outreach, global users worldwide. They're using a lot of multi-cloud services as well, and third-party integrations. So securing that consistently, and especially during rapid scaling, is going to be difficult without constant oversight. Here's where managed services can help. So managed service providers like, they provide 24/7 monitoring and response. They can also bring automated scaling and protection, such as DDoS mitigation, traffic filtering, load balancing, to maintain availability and security as well. Also, managed services can help with proactive risk management, so regular patching, configuration validation, threat intelligence. So vulnerabilities can be addressed before they're exploited during these peak times as well. So the main takeaway in high demand sectors like iGaming is availability, security, and a managed service organization can help organizations like any iGaming to stay resilient, secure, and compliant as well throughout the year.
All right. I'm also interested about how businesses ensure their AI implementation are are not only effective but also ethically sound and compliant with the data protection law, because that's something to consider as well, especially in Europe.
Yeah, agreed. And as AI becomes more prevalent and becomes more embedded in business operations, success isn't going to be about performance, it's going to be about trust. And here, to make AI both effective and ethical, companies need to build governance from day one. The businesses must start with strong data foundations, so meaning that they use high quality, legally obtained data, minimizing what's collected, and also clearly defining what data can be used and cannot be used, and being compliant with data protection laws like GDPR and similar ones, and bake these into design from day one. Organizations need to be transparent and have explainable AI. So leaders should be able to understand at a high level how decisions are being made, and especially in areas like security, fraud, and customer risk. And if they can't explain the outcome, they can't defend it legally or ethically. Human oversight is going to be essential. So AI should support decision making, but can't replace accountability. So there needs to be clear escalation paths, audit logs, and for the ability for humans to intervene to help AI-driven actions remain more responsible and defensive as well. And finally, the company should establish like a formal AI governance. So have clear policies around bias testing, model validation, access controls, and lifecycle management as well. And these could be like regular reviews to ensure that the models stay accurate, fair, and compliant as the regulations evolve as well, because regulations are constantly evolving, and security needs and privacy need to be by design and non-negotiable, with the systems completely protected against data leakage, model theft, misuse, and have encryption, access control, and continuous monitoring in place.
All right. Thank you so much, Asif. So, Anish, you are somebody who is focusing on human risk and training. Maybe in the future you will be focusing on AI risk and training. But,
Most likely.
yeah, but let me know, why is employee awareness especially critical in December?
Yeah, I think this was kind of mentioned before by I'm not sure if it was Martin or Asif, but
sorry,
humans.
How do you enforce it?
Well, just to tie back into that point, first, humans make the most mistakes, right? I mean, it's not that it's not that hardware or software fails. We're human beings. We make mistakes, and that's kind of, yeah, we're bound to make mistakes. We're not perfect, right? So we're always going to make mistakes, and it's always important to train your employees, because yeah, they're your most vulnerable asset in your organization. They're the ones that are most likely going to make those mistakes, and that's why training is critical. Not only in December, I think right throughout the year, it has to happen all the time. You need to be proactive rather than reactive. And if you have a trained workforce, you're going to have those employees that are going to be able to spot red flags. And once they spot those red flags, they're going to be able to react to it in the right way. What we want to build is a workforce. If they see something, they say something. And you want to give those employees, and you want to give your people a voice. And by training them in the right way, you're going to be able to give them that voice, so that they'll even bring those incidences to your security teams. And then your security teams will be able to handle those risks the right way and mitigate those risks. So not only is it important in this time of the year, I think it's important all year round. It's definitely crucial for you guys. Well, not you guys, but for companies to start training their workforce from the get-go.
All right. So yeah, in the meantime, one of my colleagues, because all our team is remote, has sent me an email about the package that is being delivered to us. But it's actually the real deal now. But he was questioning if it's a spam or not, because yeah, usually we get only this type of emails, but now it's actually a package. So Anish, I'm also interested about because you mentioned some of these phishing tactics, but I'm also interested about social engineering tactics that are common around holidays, and how teams can stay alert. And maybe you can also share some advices for the non-companies. Maybe there's somebody who's listening in and doesn't necessarily work at the company. or doesn't care about it, but might be a target of such campaigns?
100%. So for the people that are at home, if one thing that I like to believe is that if it's too good to be true, it usually is. So if you're getting that Nigerian prince email, or you think you won a lottery ticket, you most likely didn't win it, and just keep that top of mind. For the organizations, I would say it's about building your tech stack, right? Right now, you need to have the right tech stack in place, and if you have the right tech stack in place, you're going to be able to mitigate those risks the right way. Something that we're doing over here at KnowBe4 is, we're training employees, we're training humans, and we're increasing awareness, but that's not enough anymore. That's not. We see that with the amount of attacks increasing, it's not enough, and also sometimes, well, not sometimes, historically proven data has shown us that, even the tools that some companies have in place, like spam filters and having the Microsoft block list, and having Google spam and stuff in place, that's really not enough for organizations to protect themselves. And you see that the amount of attacks that are coming in, social engineering attacks, different kinds of obfuscation attacks, you're seeing business email compromise attacks, account takeovers, you're seeing all these different kinds of attacks coming in. And the best way to I would say, protect yourself from these attacks is to have a kind of integrated cloud email security tool, a tool that looks at what normal behavior is and understands normal behavior in an organization, what's really going on, so that even if you do receive an email from a compromised account, you're getting a notification that tells you, hey, are you sure that you really want to send this amount of money to Jessica, let's say, for example, because you usually send this money to Jessica on a different account. Are you sure you still want to send this money to, or you would still want to send this email to Jessica? You want to be, AI is going to be able to spot that a lot faster than a human being. As human beings, we're kind of working to get things done as soon as possible. We got plenty of things going on, and having those tools like data loss protection tools, defensive tools that look at all inbound emails, analyze those emails, look at what's normal behavior, what's an anomaly, what's different, and then providing the human with some feedback so that they actually have an idea of, hey, I don't usually send this email to, or I don't usually send this email to this account number. So that's kind of odd, or so they have to have that information. They have more red flags that they're able to like set on alert in their head, and then they're able to tackle that. So I know before what we're doing is we have something called a cloud email. We're moving into the market of cloud email security, and we're looking at the full ecosystem of human risk management. So now we're looking at inbound email protection, data loss protection, encryption when you're sending out your emails. So you're kind of protecting the full ecosystem, as well as you're training the humans in the meantime. So and we're training them with real life threats. So these are real emails that you're receiving in your mailbox. We're sanitizing those. They're being sanitized by a threat intelligence team, and then they're being put into your mailbox, and then we're providing the users with a red flag. So in the event that there is an attack that, let's say, we're not able to detect, the user is already prepared and ready to handle that kind of a threat too.
All right. So how can companies maintain the strong security culture when many employees are distracted by holidays or working remotely? I mean, like, probably it's drinking and partying and checking emails and sending emails.
Yeah, 100%. Hopefully not drinking too much, because that doesn't make you too efficient. But I feel like the security culture part of things, like, culture is not something that you can kind of turn on and turn off. It's something that you have to develop over time. And what we want is, we want people to behave the right way when no one's looking. We don't want what if your manager isn't there, and is not having a peek at what's going on? What if your security team is not there and not able to help you with something? We want people to act the right way in those situations. And what I like to say is the best time to build your security culture was 2 years ago. But of course, the second best time to start to build your security culture is now. So.
All right. So yeah, make sure when you're being hit by such hackers, don't just like switch off your computer and go home, because that's not going to stop it. So let's look at 2026. I'm also interested about what role will security awareness platforms like KnowBe4 play in reducing organizational risks.
100%. So I'd say that we've been playing quite a pivotal role for the last 15 years. It's not something that we're getting started with right now. We're more than just a security awareness training platform at the moment. We're moving into the full ecosystem. So we have automated compliance training. We have your data loss protection. We have inbound security protection. So we're this full platform for human risk management. And I think in the future, what you're going to see KnowBe4 playing a pivotal role in is mostly going to be with agentic AI training, because I think I spoke about this a little bit earlier, but we're going to start using AI a lot more, and it's not going away anytime soon. But having the right guardrails in place, or agentic training, even training those AI agents to act the right way, that's going to be key and essential for organizations. So especially when you need to comply with so many regulations like GDPR, PCI DSS, you need to comply with all of these regulations so that you don't get fined and you don't go out of business. And in that state, I believe that KnowBe4 is looking to play a pivotal role with agentic AI, because we're already covering the human side of things quite well, and now we're going to move into the agentic trade. It's a little bit hard to conceptualize because we haven't already started using AI in that fashion yet. But in the future, once we do start utilizing all these tools to kind of automate our responses, automate our approaches, having the right guardrails in place or the right agentic training in place, that's going to be a key in reducing risk.
All right, makes sense. And wow, actually, guys, we have been broadcasting this session, by the way, by accident. So guys who are watching, you can send us emails if you have questions. We did not do any hiccups during this recording, but yeah, I just noticed that we're also live on LinkedIn on one of our pages. But yeah, that's good to know at least. So as a closing round of questions for everyone, let's start with Martin. So if you could give businesses one piece of advice about cybersecurity for December, holiday period, summer, you name it, what would it be?
That hasn't changed for the last, I think, 10 years, I would say. It's resilience, just be prepared, but also expect the worst. Have your business continuity plans in place. Have your disaster recovery plans in place. And crucially, train your people. Have those tabletop exercises, or even more practical exercises, ideally. Have your communication plans in place. Be prepared. Again, for December, it's too late in my mind, so you shouldn't change anything right now. But get your people ready, get your systems ready, and don't think you're immune. Because even if you have a very good and very intelligent security team or whatever, there are so many factors at play that something can always slip through. And that's why I really liked the second, I think, and third question from Anish and his response. I think the culture is really, really important. He has a really big point there, and if you combine security-aware culture with good processes, and then ideally some technology controls, and then you're in good shape, then there's very little chance that something really major slips through, And if your resilience is in place, and if you have all this in place, then you might have a small hiccup here or there, Somebody, I don't know, opened up a network port for a temporary thing and didn't follow the process and didn't close it. So there is some stuff there, but it's not a huge disaster, It's contained, You have your segmentation processes in place, and you cut that part off, and then you're good, Then of course, you have to write your incident reports, and probably if you're DORA compliant or whatever, you will actually have to talk to the legislator and so on. But a small problem won't escalate too big, That's a resilience. Yeah.
Good advice. Asif.
So one of the things I would recommend is obviously zero tolerance. They have to treat the holiday period as a very high risk window. My recommendation would be to reduce access to only what's essential and to enforce MFA absolutely everywhere. Make sure that there's a clear on-call plan as well, so that any incidents that do happen don't go unnoticed while teams are stretched thin and people are out of office as well. Those are the core focus areas I would focus on.
All right, Anish.
So one piece of advice for the holiday period. So let's say that if you're not building a security culture in your organization, start building one now. That's one piece of advice for the organizations. And from a consumer perspective, verify everything this season. Verify all your packages, all your transactions. It's really easy for things to slip through the cracks, especially because you're already expecting a lot of this stuff. You're expecting packages to be delivered. You're expecting you're expecting to make payments here or to have paid something off. So verify everything this season, and that's gonna save you guys hopefully some money and peace of mind too.
All right, makes sense. So I'm also interested about what are you personally most excited about in the cybersecurity space that is coming in 2026, Martin?
What I'm most excited, is of course AI. That's easy,
I think this will be the
really,
answer by everyone.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes. A bit scared, to be honest too. I think we all move more to the like Asif, I think, said zero trust. That's been a topic for 2-3 years in my mind, at least. Yeah, that's becoming more and more, and I think security is getting more focused on the user and the user identity, and like Asif said, multi-factor. I think we as OSM Solutions, we don't have any customers anymore that don't utilize MFA, multi-factor authentication, which is great, but it took a while. So I think largely I can say, largely, our customers are going in the absolutely right direction. I'm especially proud of one of my customers that I work with directly a lot. They have made huge strides in 2025, which is great to see, because I remember 10 years back, or I think 20 years back, I used to do audits, first year audits, and then come back next year. Nothing has changed, and if you have 5 of those customers, it just gets, first of all, boring and a little bit infuriating even, yeah. I mean, you get paid, but you're not having an impact, yeah. And I think security as a whole really starting to get into people's minds, It's people understand slowly but surely that with digitalization that everybody needs to do these days, right? even like, I don't know, companies that have been around 200 years, yeah, they are digitalizing. And now they realize, okay, security is not just a cost factor, you know, we actually need it. And in a lot of areas, you know, it's also a business driver these days, yeah. Because, for example, I mean, these days, a lot of companies already have ISO 27001, for example. But 5 years ago, that was really a unique identifier for a company, you know. Most didn't have an ISO certificate, and the ones that had, that was a good sales point, you know. And so being able to tell people, look, we are good, we are doing what we should, is going to help you. It's not only going to cost you. So I'm really excited for that development. And yeah, like I said, I'm a bit scared of the AI thing, you know, but we'll see.
All right, Asif.
I wouldn't say I'm excited about things in 2026. I'm going into 2026 a little bit more anxious, let's put it that way. And
you and Martin both.
So, I mean, you know, unfortunately, security for many organizations is always the cost center, and it's where, you know, people don't really value security until something happens. It's like car insurance. You detest paying for car insurance, and the only time you value it is when something's happened to your car. Someone's hit it, and then you get it fixed, and so on. So we're seeing that, you know, I'm quite excited about seeing how identity-focused security and automation will mature moving forward. We're starting to see tools that can genuinely help security teams cut through noise, you know, and false positives to be able to respond faster and to scale protection without actually burning people out as well. Because, you know, security is 24/7, so there's a huge chance of people getting burnt out as well. And with GDPR and DORA and so on, there's a lot of risk on the CISO as well. So there's a lot there. So that's what kind of I'm looking forward to seeing in 2026, how things are more maturing and the adoption of more security tools as well.
All right, Anish.
Maybe to reduce Asif's anxiety a little bit. Excuse me. I'm more excited, I would say, about the agentic AI training agents. So the god dogs for AI, and I'm excited for that because I mean we know that AI it's unstoppable. We need it. If we don't utilize AI, somebody else will. So you wanna get the jump on that. And I think what KnowBe4 is doing that's really cool is that we're building those guard dogs already. We're working, our product teams are working on building those guard dogs. So when companies do fall into a pitfall of, you know, seeing that, we're making mistakes with these agentic AI agents, and you know, where it's affecting our compliance and stuff, we will have those agents ready for market, and they will be able to protect organizations better, and they'll be more well equipped. So that's something I'm super looking forward to.
Yeah, unless aliens visit us with this Atlas thing passing by, we never know, and that brings new technology, right? So. As a final question, and I'm happy that we're actually live streaming now on YouTube and LinkedIn. Let's give some predictions for the audience, right? So, Martin, will 2026 be a more secure year, or are we just getting started with this new generation of threats, with these AI threats? And not to mention, I think 2025 was the year when the biggest DDoS attacks happened.
That I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked it up. What am I seeing? I think we will get better detection rates, obviously, if we're using the right tools. And with better detection rates, we will also learn more about the attacks that we are facing, right? So because each company has, or each business area has different attacks, right? Since the sea levels are waking up, and I think that has also, to be honest, a part to play with especially in Europe, with how do I say this in English? With the possibility to prosecute top management if they found negligent. So now they have to take it a bit more serious, at least. And with that comes obviously also more money, more possibilities to influence the organization, more possibilities to shape processes that are not directly security related, but have a sort of a second level impact on it, and also have a say there, or have at least a voice there. Yeah. So I think there are good times ahead, right? I don't know how the colleagues see that, but yeah, I'm excited.
All right, just before Asif replies, yeah, in terms of the DDoS attacks, I looked it up because I knew that we reported on this news. Cloudflare stopped a 7.5 terabyte attack, and
So yeah,
in
that was the
November,
big one, yeah.
Microsoft mitigated a record of 15.72 terabytes DDoS attack. So yeah, it's getting larger and larger, guys. And Asif, is this AI helped by AI? And you can also reply to my earlier question.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of both. We will see that in 2026 there'll be even more threats and more compromised situations moving forward. One of the reasons is that previously, DORA, GDPR, and so on, they actually mandate that if you are compromised, you have to report it now. From a legal perspective, you have to report it. So you'll hear more and more that news of compromises and attacks that have happened, whereas before they might have been able to put it under the carpet or under the rug, for example, and mask it as much as they can. But I don't think. Actually, I think moving forward in 2026 that there will be a lot more attacks as well. Attackers are, this is a game for hackers as well. It's a David and Goliath effect. It's not necessarily always financially motivated. There is someone sitting behind a screen in a black room or whatever, and just looking to take down the big boys. It's fun for them. This is a challenge for them as well. And they're very professional. They're using AI tools just as much as we are to secure our environments. And what we were able to secure yesterday could be a completely different story today. So hackers are learning how to attack systems. That's why, your Apple phone, your iOS phone has multiple iOS versions on it, 11.5, whatever, 17.6, and they're constantly updating because whatever they were able to secure yesterday isn't the same story today.
Yep.
So I don't think 2026 will be safer by default. Organizations do have to invest in visibility, in resilience, and fast response, rather than assuming prevention is going to be enough. So they need to be proactive, and automate as much as possible.
All right. Yeah, Martin, go ahead.
Could I just sorry, Anish, because I found it really interesting what Asif said, and I'm completely with you there. That it isn't all state actors or real big hacking groups, yeah. Because I remember the early 2000s. There was so little security that a single person that with enough knowledge, they could do a lot of damage, yeah. But then almost all the juicy targets, right? They beefed up their security. So the single lone hacker in the basement, you touch the skill level, skill ceiling very, very fast, yeah, because you can't be a hacker in all the areas, right? But now through AI, it's gone down again, because nowadays again the possibility for this one lone hacker sitting at home and outsourcing certain parts that he or she doesn't know themselves to the AI, yeah. So it's a very interesting development, isn't it? It comes everything comes in a circle, right?
Right, Anish.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty unpredictable at this point. We don't really know what 2026 holds for us, but we're gonna find out, and we're gonna learn about it, and then we're gonna be able to tackle it the right way. So I think, yeah, I'm not 100% sure if there's gonna be more threats or if there's going to be a new generation of threats, or if there's something more that we should watch out for. But I think as the threats do change, we will adapt to it, and we'll be able to mitigate it in the future. So I'm pretty confident that no matter what it is that happens, we got great people all over the world, and we have smart people. As they're smart attackers too, but the smart people will also come back to combat those threats, and yeah, we'll be able to handle what comes towards us.
All right, this is some great assuring words for us mere mortals out there who really don't understand what's going on with this type of attacks. I'm only using Cloudflare, guys, because in 2018, where we were hosting a conference, I think it was Ljubljana, our website has went down for 4 days. It was part of a large attack, which accidentally our domain was included in that attack. Somebody lost some bets on Eurobet, and they added European gaming to the list, and they were like shutting us down for a week or so. So that's when we started being serious about this type of things. So guys, Martin, Asif, Anish, thank you so much for your time, and for our audience who we did not know is there, who watched this live stream, and those who are watching this recording, we wish you happy holidays. May you have a secure new year, and make sure to reach out to these guys if you need some advice. So thank you guys, and wishing you all happy holidays.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you very much.
Happy
Same to
holidays,
you.
everyone. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.